For the past 26 years that I had been working with the business owners, what I have discovered is that pretty much all business owners fall into the same financial traps. In this video, I'm gonna share with you 3 financial traps that you don't want to fall into. So watch this video till the end to avoid losing your money by falling into these financial traps in your business. Hi, my name is Rivkin and I'm expert in financial freedom and business growth, working with business owners for over 26 years. I can guarantee you that I can find you up to 100,000 in hidden cash in your accounts in just one strategy session with my proven signature system. And if you would like to take advantage of that, please click the link and book the strategy session with me. So here's the thing. The whole financial system in America is designed for you as the business owner to take advantage of it. But in order for you to take advantage of it, you need to know the system or know the right people who know the system. So here's the 3 common traps that I see that business owners, entrepreneurs typically fall into. The first one is the cash management. Well, if you don't have any cash, then you don't have a business. It's very important to have cash, therefore it's important to manage that. And typically what I hear is business owners, I don't love numbers, I don't understand numbers. Therefore, since they don't love numbers and they don't understand numbers, they're thinking that, okay, I'm just going to ignore this. I'm not just going to pay attention to that. And I'm just going to go with the flow. And this is typically what I see. Many of them, they start the businesses, they're very passionate, they have great visions and they want to do great things. But since they don't know anything about the money, how money works, then they just don't pay attention to that. But it's not even important. What's important is they don't hire the right people to help them to pay attention to this. So, and then by not doing this, then they have no idea what's going on in the business. They have no idea how much they're earning, how much they're spending. And typically, it doesn't last long because what then happens is since you don't manage how much money coming in and coming out, then you just pay the expenses, then your bank account goes into the negative, and at some point, a lot of them, they constantly stressed out, and the next thing what they do is just to keep the business going, then they start getting these loans, getting into the financing. So the way to avoid this trap is to have the right team. It's to have the advisory team. Is if you are that kind of person that doesn't know the numbers, doesn't understand the numbers, don't know the system, then it's important to have someone in your team. Is what you do is just you hire the right advisors. And here's another thing, by hiring the right advisors, many business owners thinking, oh, that's an extra expense and I don't have the money, I cannot afford this. And I hear this a lot. Many say, oh, I'm not making millions, I'm not that big to pay someone for that. This is why you're wrong about that. Even if you're not making these millions yet, you do want to make the millions. So therefore, you need to have the right advisors because they already have experience, they have already this proven path that they walked, and they're the ones who will help you to make these millions. Everything just comes from that mindset, and once you turn this mindset and you start thinking bigger, having the right people in your team, and this is when you're going to start making the millions. And at the same time, they're the ones who are going to help you to manage the cash flow and identify what's going on in your business and how to manage this cash flow so you can expand and grow your business versus just constantly being on that survival mode. So the second trap is taking the finances, taking lots of debt and over leveraging yourself. So just like I mentioned in the first step, once you get to the point where you don't have enough cash, enough money, the next step is you're looking for the ways how to replenish this cash. And typically the way you do is you take the money from the bank. So typically it's charging the credit cards to pay your expenses, and then especially if you're just starting in the business, so you start charging the credit cards. Another way is that taking the loans from the bank, or depending on what type of business. I see a lot of business owners, they taking even home equity or mortgage through on their houses. But the thing is that yes, you're taking this money and at some point you have to pay them back. But now if you took this money and you still didn't fix the problem in your business, which is managing the cash flow, then you're gonna get into the same trap. You're gonna, all the money that you took, you're gonna lose it again. And then you just will need to take more on that. I want to share with you an example from one of the clients that came to us before we started working with them. When he started the business, he left his job. Obviously, he didn't have the money. He needed to fund his business, so he took the money from the home equity, which is great. Okay, that's one thing. But then what happened is, since he wasn't managing the cash flow in the business, as he was saying, he couldn't afford to pay anyone. So what happened is that very soon he ran out of this money, and then he was looking for another way to bring more money into the business. So he had to put the debt on the credit card, and then he was looking to get another loan. So eventually what happened is, like, in a couple of years throughout his beginning journey in the business, he over leveraged himself so much, he had so much debt that he didn't know how he's gonna pay all of that. It's very important because, you know, if you're not making lots of money and you're over leveraging yourself and you're still not managing the finances and you don't have the right advisory team, then at some point this great business idea that you started, all this passion and the vision, then it can just die, and then you can just close the business. So, and you definitely do not want this to happen. And the third one is tax planning. So working with business owners for over 26 years, what I noticed was that come to us, and before they come to us, they never do any tax planning. It means that they're overpaying in taxes. And when you're overpaying in taxes, then you're giving away your hard-earned money, you're sharing your profits, and most importantly, you're giving away the cash that you need to have in your bank account to grow your business, to expand your business, and to make more money. Money makes money. One of the clients that came to us, that's exactly what happened to him. So he went to his account, and on March 14, the due date is March 15. And obviously, there's not much the accountant can already do. And here's another thing, a very important thing that I really, I can talk more and more about this, and I really want to stress out about it, is because many of you, I understand, it's like going to the dentist, you wait till like last minute, and this is what typically taxpayers do. But, when you go to your accountants on like this last days that the return needs to be filed, look at this way, accountants are exhausted. At that moment, they've been working around the clock. It's like since January 1st up until like March 15th, they literally work 7 days with no days off doing this tax return. And I went through this whole thing, I'm telling you from my experience. And honestly, whenever the client would come to me on March 14th, like my brain cannot function. If I'm like been working around the clock already, like how much of the help I can be to you doing this tax return at the last moment. So basically, typically what happens is just majority of the accounts, they just focus on the compliance, just finish the return so they can just file it and make sure that they meet the deadline. But then what it means for you is that you're losing all this money. So going back to this client that I wanted to talk to you about it. So he came to account on March 14, and then literally on March 15 at night, he sends me his tax return and asking me to review that, because now he is facing to pay this huge tax liability, and he is asking for the second opinion. And surely that's what I discovered. I discovered that he could have saved like almost $300,000 in taxes. So luckily for him, he was able to reach me, and I was able to review the tax return, and I told him, okay, just file an extension, and then once the deadline is over, then we can sit down, discuss, and come up with these different strategies. But imagine now if he wouldn't be able to come across me, and then he would have filed this tax return, and then he would have faced with this $300,000 in tax liability. You see like how important it is to be able to take advantage of all of this before the due date. So don't wait till the last moments. If you're watching this video right now, I would strongly suggest is to take your phones, call your accountants and schedule this meeting. It doesn't cost you anything. Just schedule the meeting with your accountants, ask them to review the books, and so this way you will know what's going on and what are you facing in terms of the liability and what you can do to start saving this hard-earned money. And if you need my help, then you can click the link below and book a strategy session with me. I can guarantee you that I can find you some hidden cash that you didn't even know that you had in your bank account. I hope you find this video very valuable for you, and if you do, please subscribe to my channel so you can accelerate your journey to financial freedom. And remember, financial freedom is all in your hands. And I'll see you in my next video.